Even though we work in a creative content environment, we still have to collect requirements. So part of the life cycle is to understand the business, as we just said. The thing is, we need to find out who are the stakeholders, and we need to find out what requirements they might have for this production project. And we're going to have a sections on stakeholder, but one thing I could say is like we cannot wait too long to find these people. If we wait too long, it's going to create us some problem down the line. So we have to find them at the beginning so we can integrate all their requirements, or understanding what they see coming in or the envision for this project. Now, sometimes asking a stakeholder what's your requirement is like, going to the dentist for them and pulling teeth out, right? They don't know. They're always like, oh, well, I don't, I think it should be good. It should be like this. So they'll give you some vague terms because they can't tell you exactly what they want. So what you're going to try to do is to have a discussion with them to try to express something that would be for them good. And for example, you could ask them and say, okay, let's say it's a production of a show. What would be the best show that you've seen and what makes it best? And the person will start to describe you, oh, well, I saw this show and it was really good because there was this and this and this at this moment and I felt that it was really new. So inside of that description they will give you, there will be this level of requirement. So you could mark that down and say, okay, so if I translate your requirement, the use of this kind of technology creating that effect, or the use of participation of the audience in the act or the scene is something that you see as a potential requirement. So they will express some things that they felt was good. Same thing, you could ask, what do you think was really bad? And it's like, okay, I got plenty of examples. And they would go and start to say, I saw this one. This was really bad. The light was not right. This was not right. There was some cut right in the middle. So they will describe you things that they felt they were bad. So those are requirements, but negative requirements that you don't want. So turn them into positive. Same thing for video games. For example, people would say, well, we need a different game, something that is okay. So give me a good game. So give me pieces that you saw in a video game somewhere that was really, really good for you and was really, a game changer, if you want to say it this way. So, and then they will start to describe it. On this game they had this and this. I thought it was really cool. I thought that was different. So that's becoming the requirement. So it's one way of picking up content requirement. Then there will be also requirements in terms of money, of course, but these ones are not necessarily requirements. They will be more like constraints, right? Where you need to work within a certain budget and achieve certain results. Then after that, they'll have also in terms of requirements of potential parameters. It needs to fit within a certain, square footage, of a theater. It cannot be like that big. It has to be within the limit of the other building, cannot be taller than the other building. So those are kind of the requirements that will be like more technical, that people will bring it to you. And typically those ones are pretty straightforward, right? If they're related to infrastructure, people know this one and they'll tell you right away, here's my statement of work or what I'm expecting you to be able to meet in terms of parameters. So those ones are straightforward. The ones that are a little bit more soft and more difficult to get a grip are the content requirements. So by having them describing what's good and what's bad, or what they've seen that was great, or to give you some example of things that they felt like was amazing, that would tell you and guide you in terms of describing these requirements. So collect that, mark that, and translate that into a requirement. So if we put, for example, content participation by the audience at a certain time, and that would be a requirement. Is that yes? Okay, I'd like that. Okay, so you could write down the requirement by translating what they've just told you, and then you have a full page of requirements that you could use to feed your creative team, so they understand what they need to put in the concept, so you could satisfy all the stakeholder. So the thing is, you don't want to have is we do all the concept. Actually, we move into production. And then somebody shows up and is a very key stakeholder, somebody that's got a lot of potential influence, that says, yeah, but there is not this and this on this one. I would have expected that you guys would have put, participation of the audience. And then that's the kind of thing you should have picked up at the beginning, not in the middle of the production, right? So those are the ones you want to find out as early as possible, so you've got them covered as early as possible in the life cycle.